Here we are. Jimbo! How we doing, brother?
Trying to not melt in this.
I could say you've been showing the guns recently. Actually, kind of like Pat McAfee, which is kind of funny because it's gonna everything's coming together here. Everything's coming up Millhouse or Pat McAfee in this case. Everybody to Stay Tuned Sports. It's your boy King. That's your good friend Jimbo right over there. And I think we're gonna have a fun one. I think today's gonna be a fun one. You know, again, we're kind of in dead season here, so you know we're just kind of shooting around, shooting some shit, like we're just a couple friends at the bar. Which again, as I mention every now and then, was kind of the whole inspiration behind this whole show. So also brought the old theme back. I'm sorry, I couldn't do it anymore. That other one was like it was too, you know, I don't know, silly. It was too silly. It was too silly for me. We needed that good old Stay Tuned Sports theme back, even though we are two very, very silly individuals. But again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us here on Stay Tuned Sports. If you'd like to help us out, as we have our shameless plug banner come up there, if you want to help us out for free, you can do that. Like, share, subscribe. Helps us across the board, especially with the YouTube algorithm. Please, I don't know what. Nobody knows. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody knows what's going on with YouTube. But if you like, if you share, subscribe, it all helps us out. And again, we're trying to get to 500 subscribers so that we can go ahead and get monetized and get paid. Hopefully, thank God, I can, you know, stop being broke and have 17 cents in my Chime account. Not only am I broke, but I have like the broke online bank. Like I have the bank that everybody who's a broke ass bitch uses because they're a broke ass bitch. So like I'm double super loser broke. All right, you know, you can help us with that. Get us to 500 subscribers, and then we will go from there. If you want to help us out a little bit more directly with a little bit more of the skin in the game, you can go ahead and visit our top of the chat. By the way, we have our links for our donation station and our merch store in the top of the chat, which is wide open. Come in, say hi, say hello, say how you doing. Say hello to Hamster in the chat as he is in there right now. Again, letting us know that we are only 2 weeks away from the Hall of Fame game. Very excited for that. Also, those links are in the description below this video. In case you're not watching us live, you can go down there and go to either one of those links. So again, thank you everybody so very much for helping us out here on Stay Tuned Sports. Now, there's a couple actual things that have been going on in the sports world, in the sporting world. The Broncos signed their first round pick yesterday. Jahdae Barron. He was the last first round pick to get signed.
Whoops.
That is, he's the latest one. He's the next to last one. There is still somebody left to sign. As we know, Shemar Stewart still hasn't signed. There have been rumors going around that he's going to go back to practice down. Where is he? Ole Miss is where he was originally from.
The Aggie. So Texas A&M.
Was he an Aggie? I thought he was Ole Miss. No. Okay, he was an Aggie. I don't know. For somebody who's supposed to be so in tune with the football. Whoops, sorry. But either way, there's been rumors that he is practicing down there. There's been rumors that he's trying to petition the NCAA to let him have another year of eligibility, even though he was already in the draft. Which these days, who the fuck knows? They might get that happen. But apparently none of that is substantiated. None of that is true, as we can tell. There's been no real movement on that front, but there's also been no movement from the Bengals. So who knows what's going on with that. The Jets, they've been moving. Signing both Garrett Wilson and Garrett.
Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, I don't know why. My brain.
It's the heat. It's
I
the
worry.
Heat.
I really do worry about myself sometimes. Like all of a sudden, like do I have early onset Alzheimer's? Like is this it? Is this the slow decay into just into a home? Like I don't know.
So, like, would I be a bad friend that, like, if God forbid you have Alzheimer's and you forget which team you're rooting for, I say, no, you're a Philadelphia
Oh,
Eagles
you'd
fan.
be a terrible friend. But I don't know. Listen, I don't know if my brain could rot that badly. I don't think my brain could rot that badly to be an Eagles fan. Even people who have Alzheimer's are like, no, never. Now give me my applesauce. I just, which by the way, I did see something along the way on the internet, on the social medias, as it were, where Eagles fans were voted to be the number one rudest fan base in the NFL. To which I say to that, who didn't fucking know that? Why did it take a poll? Why did it take anything for that? That's been a known fact for over 50 years. It's been more than 50 years since y'all assaulted Santa Claus. And you guys were assholes before that. Like, you guys were assholes when people were still wearing hats, suits, and ties at football games. That's how much of assholes Philadelphia's been. So, like, not a surprise. Not a surprise.
We're number one across the board. You know, the rudest fans, the best stadium facility, the champions of the world.
I will say I will give credit where credit is due. Lincoln Financial Field is a nice. It's a nice stadium. It's very nice. I mean, for even being 25 years old now, 25, 26 years old, it's it's nice digs. It's nice. So I mean, credit where especially when compared to fucking MetLife.
I was gonna say, at least there's no blank.
And it's nice. You get nice views of the city and stuff like that. Like, here's the thing, from East Rutherford, you can very clearly see the skyline of New York City, and they said, no, we're not. Who needs that? But like I said, that stadium was built by committee. Looks like ass. It's a giant HVAC. It's fucking terrible. But the link looks nice. Buffalo's new stadium. Seeing nice. Some of the new progress up there on the new Highmark Stadium there, and Buffalo looks nice. Yeah. Looks nice. There's a lot of people not from Orchard Park bitching. Oh man, where's all that money and they didn't put a roof on it? Shut the fuck up. I don't know how many times I gotta say that. Shut the fuck up. People want a roof. Shut the fuck up. I have no patience. I have no time. I have no patience for your shenanigans and your silliness. Like I said, the only places where there should be roof is like New Orleans, where it's a giant mosquito farm, and like the desert. You know, like Arizona, Vegas. I get having a dome or a retractable dome or something like that. Fine, I get that. Everywhere else, open to the elements, baby. Miami has an open roof stadium, and they get rain they get hurricanes. They have a team named the Hurricanes that play in a stadium that is open to hurricanes. And guess what? It's open. It's fine. No problems down there in Miami, baby. So, shut the fuck up. But yeah, that Buffalo Stadium looks nice. Congratulations to them on getting a new the stadium that Josh Allen, not Jared. Jared Allen used to play for the Vikings. Yeah, again, Alzheimer's. It's all fading. I'm going back in time, man. It's not great.
Eagles, best team ever. Philadelphia Eagles, best team ever.
Shut the fuck up. Hamster in chat says, don't let this distract you from the fact that the Falcons beat the Eagles and the Giants last year. Beating the Eagles is a feat. I'll say that.
Yes.
Beating the Giants was not, like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, Hamster? Like, come on. That's like saying you punched a toddler. That's not something to be proud of. Anybody who beat the Giants last year, that's not one of your finest moments, okay? That's just not. But again, thank you so much. And hey, chat's open. We have Hamster in there. Maybe we'll have some more people in there. ELS might join us later. We'll see what happens. He was dropping some news with us. What was it? Tampa Bay Rays might be getting sold for like $2 billion or something like that. And the gentleman that wants to keep them in the Tampa area, not to St. Pete. So that might help with attendance figures and things like that. So that's good. That's good news if you're a Tampa Bay Rays fan. Hard to find them, but they're there apparently.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Now here's we'll jump into this because I've been seeing things as I've been again perusing the social medias, the internets, as it were. More and more, I've been seeing people kind of having a backlash towards one Patrick McAfee, who obviously punter for the Colts, got out of there, started doing a show, a sports show. First, I think it was with Barstool. Then it was with DAZN. And then eventually he moved to YouTube and exploded on there. Did well to the point where he then was brought on to College Game Day, became one of the newest additions there on the desk. Then eventually ESPN leased out his show, and they show the Pat McAfee show now on ESPN from noon to 2, at least on their end, even though it goes on to YouTube for longer. And again, like we said, he's on College Game Day. He also is on and off an announcer for WWE. I believe he's off now until probably January again. I think he does like a 6 months on, 6 months off, because he's also doing college football. So he goes from like February to June or July, and then has the rest of the another 6 months off from WWE doing that because he's everywhere else. So and I think what brought this up and what brought it to the fore again was that you had Pat McAfee and Ty Schmidt introducing the All Star Home Run Derby hitters on Home Run Derby Day there, and I think a lot of people were just like, I had enough. I've seen enough Pat McAfee. He's fucking everywhere. To be fair, he is. I'm not going to say that. Me personally, again, I liked Pat McAfee, and I still do like Pat. I don't want to say in past tense. I like Pat McAfee. I like the McAfee show. I like watching it. It was definitely a breath of fresh air when it first came on. Because when I first was able to hear about it, I think I heard it. I heard about it because he did an interview. I think it was with Rich Eisen. Or it might have been Dan Patrick, or it might have been both. He might have been on both of them the same day, and they were talking about it. And that was when he was still on DAZN, so I still couldn't see him. I didn't watch him, but he was putting this together. He did get it together, and then he went to YouTube and started having the free show, where I started watching, and it was like, oh, this is cool. This is just kind of like what we wanted to do, just a bunch of guys bullshitting around, talking about sports, like just a couple of guys, It just happens to be one of them was a Pro Bowl punter, and played in the league for numerous seasons, and who many people consider to be one of the better punters in his time in the league. But everybody else is just like people he grew up with, his friends from Pittsburgh and such. So, like, it was, to me, when I first saw it, like, it was different. It wasn't Dan Patrick, and I love Dan Patrick too. Don't get me wrong. I love Dan Patrick for who he is, and I love Rich Eisen, even though he's kind of getting a little squirrely. But I do like Rich Eisen. I always did, and I don't. To me, Sunday mornings is NFL Game Day with Eisen and those guys on there. I really do enjoy that as the pregame show. Even more so than Fox, even more so than CBS. I like that. So, but still, McAfee was that breath of fresh air. He was something different. He was something that was, oh, okay, yeah, he's just, he just bullshits. He just sits there and bullshits, and it's fine. And then obviously he got Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays came along, and as the thing I've noticed is as time has gone on, more and more people seem to be turning their opinion on him, Okay. And it seems to be something that is common that happens when people do get successful, when people do get big, when they happen to get something. Hamster, I'm going to get to your comment in a moment. Which, by the way, you can join us in the chat. Chat's wide open for everybody if you want to go ahead and join us in there and have a piece of this discussion. Is once somebody does happen to have a little bit of success or get successful in their field, whether it's an actor, actress, sports personality, sports player, sports star. I mean, I can remember when the Patriots were playing the Rams in Super Bowl 36. A lot of the country was rooting for Tom Brady and the Patriots because of the story. Oh, here comes this kid. He's a backup. He got to play because of the injury to Drew Bledsoe. And he goes, what a great story, everything like that. Then you fast forward 4 or 5 years. This fucking guy again. The cheaters. It's the only reason they're good. So it's not uncommon to have these kind of public turnabouts. Where it's just like first everybody's like, oh, that's really cool. That's refreshing. That's nice. Something different. Something cool. Something wonderful. And then you move 2 or 3 years down the road, and it's like, can't stand this fucking guy. This guy's terrible. And then it almost becomes the new hip thing to make fun of the person that you had previously. Like they got too mainstream, very much the hipster thing. I like this band before they made it mainstream. I liked them before they were cool. And now that he's cool or that something was cool, it's like, well, I can't like it anymore. That's now it's too mainstream. I can't do that, man. I gotta stay real on the fringes, man. I gotta stay on the edge, man. So I find that dynamic interesting, and that's what I mean. Like, it's not surprising to me to see this kind of opinion shift. Now, personally, from my own standpoint, I will say that I have watched less of Pat McAfee than I have in the past. Mm-hmm. His show used to be can't miss. I had to watch it. Noon to 3. I actually liked it a little bit better when it was 9 to noon. I did like the morning version a little bit better. That's just me personally. Yeah. But even so, even when he did move noon to 3, I had to watch it. You had to see what was going on, especially during football season, especially Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. You had to see that. That was, people forget that was really one of the first in-depth discussions and insights with Aaron Rodgers that anybody was able to see before. Because he was still, he would talk to the media during the scrums and stuff, but outside of that, he was he's enigmatic, I'm Aaron Rodgers. So it was a cool little peek into the life of Aaron Rodgers and seeing all that. So that was something else. And, his draft shows were something different than what you were seeing on ESPN or NFL Network, and it was different. It was goofy. It was funny. You had fucking Red Panda in the one where she's flipping it, like, it was different, and it was fun. I would say that it has seemed to get a little bit more routine over the last year or two. And I'm not saying that's because he's on ESPN now or anything like that. I think it's very much I think it's just, this would have been it even if he had just stayed on YouTube. If he wasn't on ESPN, it's not ESPN's fault that it seems to maybe getting a little,
like a money thing,
right? I don't think it's a thing about stagnation or anything like that. I still love him on College Game Day because again, it's that once a week kind of thing that you get that, and he does bring something new and different and fun to that broadcast. But I don't know. Hamster in the chat, he says, I'd rather listen to Stephen A. Smith. You're out of your fucking mind.
Nuts. You are freaking
You're
nuts.
out of your fucking mind. And I'll just say that. Whether you like Pat McAfee or not. I'm not even saying, like, you can hate Pat McAfee. I'm not trying to sit here and defend Pat McAfee and say, like, oh, I got to defend Pat McAfee. But I have the wrong title up there. Whoops. I'm not going to sit here and try to say like, oh, you have to like Pat McAfee or you're defending Pat McAfee. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is to sit there and say that you'd rather listen to Stephen A. Smith. No, because Stephen A. Smith is a detriment to the sports media world and to humankind. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
He's just a Pat. Sure, he's a love him or hate him guy. He can be annoying, but he doesn't. He doesn't make me want to hate anything. He doesn't hate. He doesn't have any of that like completely divisive opinions or divisive speech or divisive anything like that. Whereas Stephen A. Smith is all about that.
Yeah.
Ridiculous takes, ridiculous hot takes, ridiculous comments made that are some of the dumbest things you've ever heard and most infuriating things you've ever heard. Pat, yeah, sure, you can. He's a little grating. He's obnoxious. Sure, so the fuck am I? I mean, listen to me. I'm fucking loud right now, and I'm always obnoxious. So my point with this is, we've covered kind of that now. Jimbo, first of all, your thoughts on McAfee as far as how you see him now, how you saw him then. We'll get into the crux of it, whether or not he's oversaturated or not. But
yeah,
what is your outlook on and I would say fandom, if you will, of Pat?
So, much like you, like I've been seeing this it's been going on for a few weeks, maybe even a couple months now.
A lot with the WWE people too, which is
Yeah.
weird, but all right.
And as far as the show, I'm kind of with you there. Like, I've been probably watching and listening to him, the Pat McAfee show for 2, maybe 3 years now. And I agree. Probably the past year, like either do I want to listen to my music or do I want to watch the show? And it's more. I'm starting to lean more towards just listen to music.
I listen to music, right? Exactly.
That doesn't change my feelings about him. I like him as a sports person, figure, however you want to call it. And I'm glad Hamster brought up Stephen A. Smith, because I was going to bring Stephen A. Smith up before the comment. Why aren't people bitching about Stephen A. Smith, about him being oversaturated? Now, Pat McAfee,
And he is very much so. But also to that respect, Stephen A. does get a lot of social media. He gets a lot. Like he's
so is Pat.
He's very much so. I don't think and I'll say this: people are hating Pat. People are kind of maybe fed up with Pat or think that he is oversaturated.
Yeah.
People honestly can't stand Stephen A. Smith, and rightfully so. And I'll say this, and I'll direct people over to That's Good Sports, Brandon Perna. I know I mentioned him a lot on here, but he has a I'm getting dinged over here. He has a great essay basically on why Stephen A. Smith is bad for sports media and sports talk, and what he does, and it's a great watch. And something I would suggest people to go and do.
The other thing too, like, kind of talk about that is, Stephen A. Smith, like you said, I mean, some of the takes he says, he lasted, like when ESPN and UFC made the television deal, or what agreement years back, Stephen A. Smith lasted one pay-per-view because he made such of an ass about himself, because of his takes, because of his comments, trying to come across like he knows what he's talking about. At least with Pat McAfee on his show, he flat out says, "I'm a dumbass. I may not know."
Kind of like we do here. Kind of like every time we say something, it's like we're just two idiots who met in a bar while we were drunk and decided to do a podcast, and here we are.
Yeah.
Like this is what we're doing. Like we are not analytics. We're not experts. We're not anything like that. So, to be fair, Pat, we said it first. Okay, so I know you say that all the time. Like we're not experts. We're not. Yeah, but me and Jimbo were the originators. So
Yeah.
we're the originators of dumb sports talk. Okay.
Now, I mean, on the flip side, if I'm ESPN though, maybe I would scale his workload back a little bit. Maybe
Well, this is what I'm saying, and this is what I wanted to jump into with that.
maybe
Is
don't have him do the home run derby, next year.
right? This
Have him do a show.
this is what I was mentioning is the part I was going to jump into after we because I wanted to cover like yes, I did watch him. Yes, I very much am a fan of Pat McAfee. I like what he does. I like who he is. I like all that. But the point that I think I've seen a lot of people making online, and is a point that I have to say I fairly agree with, is Pat McAfee oversaturated? Is he everywhere that you look now when you're in sports media, when you look at something that is sports? And the undeniable answer to that is yes. He is in far too many places, and that is a detriment as far as that looks. Now he's come out and said several times, like, I'm going to run this thing till the wheels fall off, and eventually this ride's going to end, and nobody's, I'll be done with the show, and everybody's done it, and that's fine. But he wants to. He's going to go full bore, say no to nothing, say yes to everything, and do all that. So I don't think it's a conscious decision by him to like let me go everywhere and be as annoying as possible. I think it's a case of he just says yes to everything. Somebody says, "Hey, you want to go introduce the fucking home run derby?" He's like, "Yeah, sure. Why the fuck not?" Hey, you want to go do this bit here? Why? Oh yeah, sure. You want to go comment on WWE? Yeah, sure. Why not? Always wanted to do that. So, but looking at it from just that, from the exposure standpoint, far too exposed, far too much of him. And I mean, here's the thing.
He admitted too.
What's that?
He admitted too.
Oh, absolutely,
a few
absolutely,
weeks back.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, and this is something I think that we can all agree on. Hamster, ELS, everybody else in the chat, everybody watching, me, you. I think it's something that we can all agree on. A little bit of Pat goes a very long way.
Yeah.
Okay, he's just that kind of individual. But that's what this is what I'm trying to say. Yes, he's far too oversaturated. Yes, I think he does need to pull it back. If he does his show, and if he does College Game Day, I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Yeah. And if
I would add WWE.
Those
three.
Well, this is what I mean. Well, the WWE is not bad because that's after college.
Exactly.
So it's either that. So he has his show, he has College Game Day, and then in the off season he has WWE.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fine. I think that would be fine. But listen, even the WWE people are turning on him now. Oh, he sucks. He's a terrible announcer. Put Corey Graves back in there, which is funny so because they were shit on Corey Graves.
Yeah.
Back in the day. So I don't want to, but again, wrestling fans, fickle. They are fickle bunch. They really are. That's why the best thing you could do as a wrestling fan is get out of the IWC. Just don't pay attention to the internet wrestling community. Just go and do all that. Hamster in the chat says King doesn't like me hating on McAfee. I can't even watch Game Day because of him anymore. I don't listen. Like I said, I think everybody has an opinion. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion about who they like and who they don't. And to that end, I'm agreeing with a lot of people thinking that there is too much Pat.
Yeah.
There is far too much Pat. And maybe also that's the thing too. Maybe being on ESPN is too much. I think maybe just going back to YouTube or finding another path would be the way to go. Because here's the other thing too, and this news just came out, I want to say a couple hours ago, is you're going to get a lot of people trying to copy this. Copy Pat and copy, not so much copy Pat, but copy the success he had and give opportunities to others that are kind of in that same lane, same valve. Because as we have found out that Fox Sports and Barstool are nearing an agreement that would have Portnoy join their Big Noon kickoff, along with Big Cat, and also have several other of the Barstool properties end up going on FS1, since they just cleaned house, including Joy Taylor. Fuck you, bitch. See you later. I know. Oh my God, he's so much that. No. Fuck Joy Taylor. If you defend Joy Taylor, you're an asshole too. Get the fuck out. I don't want you here. I don't want you here. Get the fuck out. Fuck you.
Shady McCoy should have been fired though. But go ahead.
Dude, you and your Eagles fucking loyalty.
He didn't do nothing wrong.
But Emmanuel Acho was let go too.
Definitely.
Fuck you too, asshole. Pieces of shit.
Former Eagle.
But so you have, I mean, from just a broad overview perspective, what Fox is trying to do with their college football kickoff show is what ESPN did first with McAfee. Somebody a little bit more irreverent, a little different, a little outside of the box, and see what's happening. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers back in the day, ESPN, I think about 10 years ago, tried to get Barstool as part of ESPN. And I think they did one show, and then Samantha Ponder, who was anchoring NFL Sunday Countdown, went on a whole tirade talking about how they're misogynistic and they're terrible people, and Portnoy is this and that and the other. And ESPN immediately pulled them, canceled the deal, and it was done. They had one show, and that was it. Yeah. But now I think we're in a different time. As we said, I think we're in a time where it's not as crazy as it was. So we're looking at now a situation where they can pull that off. But now they're going to face the accusations of, oh, you're just trying to be ESPN with McAfee. That's all you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And whereas Pat is just a big, loud personality, but not really offensive to that point, Dave Portnoy,
yeah,
a bit offensive. Like we talked about, Stephen A. Smith, a bit offensive. You know,
like to me, like Dave Portnoy, and I'm gonna use this old saying. It's almost like if Pat and Stephen A. Smith had a baby. It's Dave Portnoy. He's loud. He's like you said, offensive. He does know some stuff. Like every time I see him on the X, since you don't like me calling it Twitter, since you don't like me calling it X. It's
not that I don't like it. It's just that it's never gonna be X. Yeah. Nobody's ever, when we talk about it, we talk about somebody tweeting something. Even though it's been X now for what, a year and a half, almost 2 years. I'm sorry, it's not that. It's just a bad branding move. I'm sorry, Elon. Sorry. Bring the fucking bird back. That's all I could say, because at this point, nobody has gone to the X. Nobody's saying it's X. Nobody's saying, well, in his latest X post, fuck off. No, it's a tweet. It's a tweet. It rolls off the tongue. It's part of the zeitgeist. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, continue.
But like Portnoy, I just think is gonna be unbearable.
I don't know how well it'll work. Yeah. Simply because there's a difference here too. Is Pat, yes, he's loud, big personality, but he was also a player. He played in college, he played in the pros. He has an understanding of at least inside. Yes, he was a punter, but he knows what inside a locker room is. He knows how the athletes think. He knows the conversations and the things that happen in the locker room. Dave's just a fan.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he started Barstool, kind of like how we're trying to do here with Stay Tuned Sports, except hopefully not trying to be as I don't know. I'm trying to be as successful, just maybe not as polarizing. Maybe I don't know. But I don't have an insight into what an NFL locker room is, or what a college locker room is. I barely know what a fucking high school locker room fucking was. So having Dave Portnoy go on a show like that, it's simply because of his personality, his grating personality, and things like that. And Dave is, again, somebody that you love or you hate right off the bat. You know, and this is what I think is the difference, is that Pat, if you go back and look just a couple of years ago, everybody loved him. What a breath of fresh air. Something different, something new. Thank you. So glad he was on College Game Day, except for the Southern boys, like Hamster. He really ate him. You know, then, you know, he was always against them. And I get that. That's fine.
Yeah.
But, like, whether it was the Pat McAfee show, whether it was College Game Day, whether it was something like that, people really, when he first started with WWE, oh, what a great, oh, he's so great. Never get him and Cole apart. It's a great announcing team, all that. Now, here we go, 2-3 years later. Man, it's just too much. It's just everywhere. I'm just tired of him. Oh, my God, it's just like that. When it comes to Portnoy, it's, like, again, like, that's it. McAfee is not offensive in that aspect. He's not pissing anybody off. He's just, all right, enough of him. Whereas Portnoy is, this guy's an asshole. And that's, people hate him. And that's what I mean. The people who like him because he's an asshole. So it's, oh, he's an asshole. He says it like it is. No, he's just an asshole. And listen, there are some things that Portnoy does that are kind of cool. His pizza reviews and some of the other stuff. It's entertaining. It's fine. It's fun. But again, he also says a ton of shit that, and this is what I mean. He's great for a tweet or two. He's great for the social media sphere. Putting him on Fox Sports Big Noon, Big Kickoff, I'm not sure that's going to have the same results that McAfee did for ESPN.
Maybe for like the first episode or two, until he says the wrong thing, because you know he's going to, and then all hell's gonna break loose.
Like it's giving me flashbacks to when ESPN put Rush Limbaugh on NFL Countdown for some fucking reason.
Remember that?
And it's like, listen, I get it again, and especially with you're talking about politics, which is, don't fucking dip your toe in there, first of all. Yeah. And second of all, you're talking about an individual in politics that you either love or you hate, and you put him on. And there was no way that was ever gonna be anything but a fucking disaster.
Yeah.
And it kind of feels that way with Portnoy. Like, it feels like that's gonna be like, what's next? Are you gonna put fucking Frank the Tank on a fucking Fox baseball's Sunday broadcast or Saturday? Like, what?
Can you imagine if they did that and put him on a Mets
dude? First of
game?
all, I would watch the fuck out of that game. I don't watch baseball. I don't watch baseball on television. Can't do it. It's bad. I would watch the fuck out of that game.
It'd only work if they do a little camera screen.
You're gonna have to have the little
screen.
And just hear like, oh, here he comes to the plate. He's gonna throw it. He's going to throw. He's going to throw. Look at him. The Mets are going winless. They're 0-82. 0-82 at home. That's all they're going. Actually, now that we say it, Fox. Fuck Portnoy with Big Noon Kickoff. Yeah. Fuck Big Cat and whatever gambling show he's going to do. Fuck all that. You need to get Frank Fleming on fucking Fox baseball games.
Yeah.
Especially if they're Mets games. 1,000%. If you're going to do this, if you're going to get in the bed with Barstool, do it. Yeah. Do it. Let's go. John in the chat, by the way. Oh, what was that?
No, I was going to say, make sure, Fox, that they have at least 50 or 60 glasses.
You're going to have glasses ready to go. Make sure he has his little shark tooth chewy there, that he's got that, and make sure everybody's got a pretty safe distance from him, because those arms are, that's it. I love it. And listen, I've known Frank for 25 years. I love the guy. So there's no, I'm not being mean. I'm not trying to say, I'm just saying, watching that guy, watching a Mets game, I put that on fire. I'm watching that all day, every day of the week. John in the chat says, Dave Portnoy is a typical Boston drunk dude at the bar who happens to find an audience. That kind that kind of sounds like what we're trying to do, because we were a couple of bar drunks that decided to start this. But hopefully we're a little bit better than Dave, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, I don't think anything that I have said on here or anything has been particularly controversial, other than fuck Joy Taylor.
Yeah.
Not that I want to fuck Joy Taylor. That just no, fuck her in general, because she's a horrible human being, and was going to accuse somebody she was having an affair with, which, by the way, she's married. But she was having an affair with somebody, and then was going to accuse them falsely of raping her, just to move her career up and to get her own show. So, no, I'm sorry, allegedly.
Yeah.
This is all allegedly, according to the hairdresser's lawsuit. So, allegedly, that's what she was going to do. I want to make sure I put that out there. Allegedly, that was what she was going to do. I think that's the deepest controversial thing I've ever said about that. So I'm glad she's gone from FS1 for her alleged conduct. And it looks like that spot's going to be filled by Barstool. So I'm interested. But so the long and short of it is I guess what I'm trying to say here is I think it would not be a bad idea for Pat to maybe pull back a little bit and maybe not say yes to everything, but I just don't think he's that kind of person.
I was just thinking now, like, even if ESPN says, you know what, we'll do the Pat McAfee show during the NFL season, like, say, July when training camp starts, and sprinkle in, draft day and free agent day, like just one or two shows there, but mostly NFL season. Then you got game day, and once game day's done, he's done with the NFL pretty much. Then you could go WWE. I think that would help scale back and give the fans a little bit more of a break from him. So when he does come back, it's an excitement that he's back.
I think but here's the thing, and this is what I mean. Like especially when it comes to since he's gone to ESPN, he's never off ESPN.
Yeah.
So he's always on ESPN, whether it's the off season, football season, college football season, and then during college football season, he's on there an extra day on Saturday, and then sometimes they have him doing the secondary broadcasts, which I like. And I'm gonna be honest, I watch those more than I watch the regular broadcasts, because they are a little bit more entertaining. Because sometimes especially with ESPN, their play-by-play guys are not the best.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't mind that, but yeah, it's a little. And like I said, I don't find a lot of great play-by-play guys, which is kind of why we do what we do, where we do the live stream, because that was it. I mean, I always thought oh, that'd be cool. We just do that by ourselves. Then I come across YouTube and see that people have been doing it already for years. Tom Grossi being the big one now that you see. But like I said, he's been doing it for 10 years. And even now, he's just getting to 700, 800,000 subscribers, So it takes work. It takes work to get into it. But I would rather watch a YouTube. I would rather sync the YouTube with the games and do that and watch that commentary than listen to some of these announcers and broadcasters. So McAfee doing that is not absurd. That's not a bad thing to me. I just think with a lot of the other stuff, like his big night out and, like I said, doing the baseball introductions and, oh, he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. Maybe pull back on that. And like I said, maybe when this ESPN deal is done, at least for the show, pull back from ESPN. Do the YouTube show. That was and this is what I mean. It's not that ESPN changed the show, because they have it, and I will give credit to Pat and ESPN for that. The show hasn't changed since he's moved over.
Yeah.
So it's not a case of ESPN ruined the show. ESPN didn't ruin the show. I think ESPN just maybe made him too overexposed.
Yeah.
So going back to YouTube and doing that and kind of re-gauging that, and to those same lines, people watching ESPN who watch ESPN Daily, which who the fuck are you? Who watches ESPN Daily anymore? There's nothing on that fucking channel. But like you can get to Saturday, watch game day. He's there, and like you said, oh, now it's something new. Now it's something different. Now it's something refreshing. That's fine. But that's it. I think he is far too overexposed right now, and that grates on people. You know, hey, listen, like Harvey Dent said, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And Pat, for a lot of people, has become the villain. But like I said, if you want to talk about villainous sports personalities, you have Stephen A. Smith, you have fucking Skip Bayless. He's not with anybody right now. I don't think he fucking got no. You know, he's all that. But he's another absolute disgusting asshole. Joy Taylor, thank God, just got fired. You know, but and a lot of these other ones, Shannon's kind of been in hiding since the allegations. But you have these other people, and I like Shannon too. Don't get me wrong, I like Shannon Sharp. You know, and
sometimes.
And listen, him and Ocho doing the nightcap. The nightcap is
well, yeah, no, that's fun. But like when he's on the Fox, when he was on
no,
Fox,
but that's what I mean. When anybody who does those debate shows are asked like that is horrendous television.
Yeah,
it's super bad. So like I can't get into that. And I can't get into people who like that. It is literally the reality television of the sports world. And I just don't like it. Anyway, like I said, there's a lot worse people out there. There's a lot more villainous sports personality figures that you can find than Pat McAfee, you know, who, I mean, listen, he ends his show every day with, you know, tell somebody something nice, you know, might make their day. Yeah. And try to have a good one. Like he's always got, you know, a positive look on things, and that's a better way to be, and that's a good way to be. And people are gonna hate that no matter what. Like Hamster hates Hamster hates sunshine. So like you know, I don't know, if, you know, Hamster hates everything. So that's what I mean. I don't hate Pat McAfee, but I do understand the point of, boy, is he fucking oversaturated. He is far too much everywhere in everybody's kitchen, in everybody's workhouse, as it were. Let's see, what we mentioned the Broncos and Barron reaching a deal. We did mention the Jets and all their moves. I wanted to touch on a couple other little things here. The Redskins and Terry McLaurin.
It's the Commanders, not
the
Redskins.
It's the Redskins. It's the Redskins. We know how we're doing that. I've made the statement on here already like 5 times here, Jimbo. That is their name that we are using going forward. The ice is ready, by the way. Washington Redskins receiver Terry McLaurin said that he's frustrated and disappointed with the lack of progress towards a contract extension, saying that they're entering crunch time now to get a new deal done. As again, training camps are right around the corner. I mean, literally right here. They're opening this week. Rookies are reporting. McLaurin, talking to reporters after shooting a commercial on Tuesday, said, "Without any progress in discussions, it's kind of hard to see how I step on the field." However, McLaurin also said that he wasn't pushing for a trade or anything like that. "I want to be here. I want to make that abundantly clear." But he also did say it does take 2 to tango. McLaurin is in the final year of his 3-year, $68 million extension that he signed in 2022. He has been Washington's top receiver since entering the NFL as a third-round pick in 2019 and has topped 1,000 yards for 5 consecutive seasons. Now, a lot like as we talked about in our countdown, where we have Washington where we both have them ranked in our respective spots, boy, if they don't get this done, that's going to change.
Yeah.
Because McLaurin was a huge part of what Washington was able to do last year. Not having him there now would be a problem, and especially if he does come in, or if he comes in pissed and plays this year and is like, fine, I'll play in my last year of the deal, but I'm fucking gone after this. Like, you know, you don't want that either. So, you know, Washington's really got to tread lightly here and see how they work this out. I'll say this: he doesn't sound like he's being too, like, he's not like saying like sign me or trade me or fuck. Like, he's like, I want to be here. we got a guy fucking finally, so I want to be
Yeah.
here. I think we're good. We were just at NFC Championship, blah, 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 blah. I want to be here. How do you see this playing out? Does he get in? I'm not even going to say before training camp, because at this point that's going to take a real quick deal to happen. But does he get in before the season? Do you think he signs before the season?
I don't know, man. Because
Really? Wow.
because from what I've been reading, I guess the number he wants is 30 million a year, which, like you said, 5 straight years, 1,000 yards. And if Jaden Daniels wasn't there and they still had, say, Taylor Heineke still there, then I would probably say, okay, I can understand Washington being reluctant to give him big money when they don't have a quarterback. They have a quarterback now. They have a chance to have a team. Like, give him the 30 million. He's worth it. And on top of that, get him in there now, because how many times have we seen just players in general, not just receivers, but players in general, hold out all training camp because of contracts, only to get signed a couple days before the season starts, and then get hurt and out for the year at some point during that season. Like, they need that training camp to get into real
Some
football
people, but
shape.
then you have veterans who do that just so that you don't have to go to camp. Like Michael Strahan did that in his last season with the Giants, So there are people who do that. When you have the type of production, when you know how people value and see you and have told you to your face, and then you see how it's progressing until this point, that's very disappointing. I'm just trying to get some clarity. Shoot it to me straight. McLaurin then said they're not at the point of no return, but later said, I guess you could say there is a point of no return. I don't think it's at that point right now, but time is kind of ticking. So,
And I want a comment about that, because I did read about that too. His comment about crunch time and plus that, to me, it says if they don't have a deal come week 1, I could see him playing out his contract and just walking away.
he's already racked
go
up
to a different
104.7 thousand, 100.47. Look at me, like trying to say $104,768 in fines for missing the mandatory mini camp back in June. It's because he was holding out because of the contract. So we're still at that point.
Yeah.
If you're Washington, you can't, this is what I mean. So I think it'll get done. I think it'll clearly get done before the season. It might even get done. They might work through the night to try to get this done before training camp even starts. I don't think, because here's the thing. I think if it gets to opening day,
Yeah.
if we get even closer to that, a week before, 2 weeks before, when the preseason ends, if you don't sign him before the preseason ends, you're gonna be looking at a case where I think something like that might happen, where he just says, all right, I'll play out the deal, but good, I'm testing out free agency. Good luck trying to fucking sign me then, assholes. And see what happens. So I think if you're Washington, you got to find a way to lock him up. You have to find a way to lock him up. Also, speaking of the Redskins, they're going to retire Art Monk's number 81.
Oh, nice.
In that Sunday night game against the Seahawks, where they'll be wearing their Super Bowl era throwback, the Redskins throwbacks. That's what they're wearing. The Redskins announced on Tuesday that they're retiring the number of Monk, number 81. He wore that from the time he arrived as a first-round pick in 1980 until he left in 1993. Monk played for 2 more seasons, one with the New York Jets and one with the Philadelphia Eagles. I do remember that.
Yes, he did.
He becomes the 6th player in franchise history to have his number retired, joining Sammy Baugh, Bobby Mitchell, Darrell Green, Sonny Jurgensen, and Sean Taylor. So congratulations to Art Monk. I remember watching him as a kid. He was him and Darrell Green on each side of that ball. Man, the Redskins were something back in the 80s, early 90s. The battles that they would have with the Giants teams that they had there, and they were. And I think Darrell Green can still outrun most everybody.
Oh God,
he was fast, man. Darrell Green was something. And one last thing before we get the hell out of here, because we're about an hour, so it's not bad. It's not bad. We're doing pretty good for a day where it's kind of slow. Not too much happening. Thank you so much for joining us. By the way, chat's open if you want to join in here. Last one. This one pertains to you.
Okay.
And to your lovely franchise. Philadelphia Eagles coach Nick Sirianni offered a pointed response to the notion that quarterback Jalen Hurts was along for the ride during Philadelphia's Super Bowl run last season. I think it's bullshit, says Sirianni. It's bullshit that you put on a flower bed and the manure that helps it grow. I mean, he plays the most important position in all of sports, and it's the most ultimate team game there is. And what I admire about him is the selflessness of doing anything that we need him to do. After a 2-2 start to the season, the Eagles shifted their offensive approach, leaning more on Saquon Barkley and the ground game and less on the passing attack. Philadelphia went 12-1 down the stretch, led by Barkley, who finished his career with a career-high 2,005 yards and 13 rushing touchdowns en route to being named Offensive Player of the Year. Hurts finished the 2024 season with the least number of attempts, 361, and passing yards, 2,903, since becoming the full-time starter in 2021. But he delivered when called upon, including in Super Bowl 59, when he completed 77% of his throws and totaled 3 touchdowns in a win, and also MVP honors. Hurts is surrounded by standout cast, including Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, top-tier offensive line. But that does not make him uniquely relative to many other quarterbacks who have had lots of success in the league, Sirianni says. Jimbo, you've been hearing about this for a while. I've been one of the drum beaters here. I've been one of the drum beaters on this too. Your thoughts on if Jalen Hurts was carried last year to a Super Bowl title? If he is, as anybody who fucking observes, not great at being a quarterback, or what your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this particular story, this particular thing?
I mean, one, if you don't think he's great, then I guess you think Brock Purdy is a garbage quarterback too, because they pretty much have the same numbers.
No. Stop it.
A Super Bowl championship plus appearances. He's not a top 3 quarterback. Okay, I'll admit that. But he's, I think it was ESPN, because I saw, we just said about how the debates on there are garbage, which they kind of are. Orlovsky and Damian Woody were debating about how they had Hurts at number 9 with, I think like Dak Prescott was above him, Brock Purdy was above him. He's not a number 9 quarterback. He's a top 5 quarterback. People don't like him because of those stats. 2,900 yards passing, 15, 20 years ago, that would be good passing yards. But not now, because it's a passing league.
Well, it wasn't a passing league last year because, like we said, after that 2-2 start, you guys had that bye week, and when you guys came back, it was a Saquon show. It was him running the whole time. So, again, he had the lowest yards that he ever had. He had the fewest attempts that he ever had. Clearly didn't.
But when needed to show up in big situations, he's shown up every time. Lamar Jackson, how many times has he shown up in big times?
No. I'm not saying that, but also, he had a tight end drop a football on him. So is that Lamar's fault, or is that Mark Andrews' fault? Like, that's what I'm saying.
But overall, like, I'm not just talking about last season, with Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson, but overall, I mean, since Lamar's been in the playoffs or in the league, we know he's not dependable when it comes to the playoffs. And if Hurts has to be average in regular season to be great in the playoffs,
was he great in the playoffs though?
Yeah. Other than the St. Louis game when it snowed, I mean, he destroyed.
And other than the Eagles' offense destroyed Washington. I don't know how much of a part that
the offense.
Saquon Barkley.
No, who calls the plays in the huddle?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who calls the fucking plays. Who leads that up? Who was the leader? Who was the leader of the Eagles offense last year? In your mind, if you had to put him up to, no.
You said Barkley was the leader in the Super Bowl. They had him locked down. Which Hurts had to step up.
And that's fine. That's the Super Bowl. I'm not talking about Super Bowl. You're talking about the playoffs. And take that Eagles offense. Yes. Who would you say is the leader of the Philadelphia Eagles offense?
Jalen Hurts.
You're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your fucking mind.
Honestly, I would probably say it's a co-captain, Hurts and Barkley, but Hurts is the voice of that team.
Jalen Hurts he's a passenger. He's a passenger princess. He's a passenger princess who happens to have maybe one of, if not the best offensive line in the leagues.
Okay,
he's got the best running back in the league. He's got two of the best wide receivers in the league. And oh, by the way, one of the best defensive units, both on the front seven and the defensive backfield, with the exciting whites there in the backfield. So tell me where Jalen Hurts all of a sudden, if you put Daniel Jones on the fucking Philadelphia Eagles, they win the Super Bowl last year too.
So Barkley is the one running the show.
I didn't say he's right. I said he's the leader of that offense.
Okay,
because also, let's not forget how the Eagles collapsed at the end of last year. And how they started kind of collapsing this year. And who was the voice in the locker room that changed everything from the start, from the top to bottom? Who was the guy in the locker room that told everybody, fucking relax, let's fucking get this together, and let's get out to what?
Because it was the
you don't deserve Saquon Barkley. You don't deserve Saquon Barkley. You don't.
Okay, so
he was the difference in that locker room this past year. So if you don't have Saquon there, you don't win the Super Bowl.
If Barkley, and it's going to come across like I'm bashing Barkley on the Eagles. I'm glad we got Barkley. If Barkley is such the great player for the Eagles, why wasn't he as great for the Giants?
Are you seriously asking that fucking question?
Yes, because I want to hear you say it. And I'm going
to say what?
If we had the Giants offensive line, Barkley would have never ran for 2,000 yards.
No, I'm not saying that either.
So you can't put everything just on Barkley.
No, you can. Because here's the thing. Yes, you can.
So then why didn't
Because we saw that Philadelphia Eagles team 100% basically the same as it was without Saquon Barkley. And what did they do in 2023? They crashed and burned and got their ass kicked by the Buccaneers. Yeah. That's what happened. And then you put Barkley on that team in 2024 and they win a fucking Super Bowl. Why? Because now Jalen Hurts didn't have to carry the team. Jalen Hurts didn't have any of the pressure on him.
That's how it should be. You can't.
No, you should have a quarterback that can lead your team. The Eagles have an absentee landlord there at quarterback because he's not the leader. Saquon is. And anybody who has basic observational skills of football can see that. Can see that Jalen Hurts is a passenger princess along for the ride as Saquon and that offensive line and that defense fucking drives the Eagles to probably another at least NFC Championship game, if not another Super Bowl appearance this year. That's the long and short of it. And here's the thing, is that we've seen this Eagles team without him, and we've seen him with him. The only big difference with the Eagles between 2023 and 2024 was Saquon Barkley. And what a fucking difference one guy made. That's all the evidence you need.
So what's the reasoning for us losing in the Super Bowl in 20?
Jalen Hurts, because he fumbled the fucking ball. He crumbled. He crumbled under pressure.
Barkley's the reason that we made it to the Super Bowl. So how did we make it to the Super Bowl for the loss? 2021 or 2022, whatever it was.
What do you mean? Because you had a good team? And
you
also injured the shit out of Brock Purdy in the NFC Championship game? So you made your road there. You had your two games to get to the Super Bowl the year were Daniel Jones and the New York fucking Giants. And what? No.
Yeah.
We beat the Vikings. The Giants beat the Vikings.
Okay, sorry, I'm 2017. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, you're thinking 2017?
Yeah.
That's a fucking almost 10 years ago. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's Alzheimer's.
Now you're not even describing apples and oranges. You're describing apples and fucking Jupiter. The two things don't even. What the fuck are you talking?
Stephen A., can you tell King to come back because we're still alive?
First of all, how dare you?
That's-
Don't say things
that's
you can't
been in
take
my
back.
mouth
Do
for
not
a
take
while.
things. Do not say things you can't take back. I don't know if you've ever insulted me that badly.
I didn't know if it was that or Skip Bayless, but the more you were yelling it, the more easy.
Neither one is a great choice. Neither one's great. Thank you so much for joining us here, ladies and gentlemen, on Stay Tuned Sports. If you'd like to help us out, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously. And, of course, we have the links for our donation station and our merch store in the description below this video. Jimbo, before we get out of here, any last thoughts on this Wednesday?
Yeah, Jalen Hurts is a Super Bowl winning quarterback and won the MVP this past season, but he's garbage.
He is garbage. He's very, and he did not deserve that MVP in the Super Bowl. I'll say that 1,000%.
Dijon deserves.
I think Cooper DeJean absolutely deserves that MVP. So again, all the evidence is.
It's like the MVP. It just call it a quarterback award. The MVP of the season. Just call it a quarterback award. Any final thoughts, King?
I kind of can't wait for football season to get here. This was the first real decent football rant I've had in about 6 months, and I got to tell you, felt pretty good. Felt pretty good. So until we see you on Friday for the Friday forecast, and we'll see you right back here for the main show on Wednesday. Of course, countdowns on Tuesdays. You know all that. But yes, until we see you on Friday for the Friday forecast, Tuesday for the countdown, and next Wednesday for the next main podcast show. I'm your boy King. That is your good friend Jimbo right over there. We'll see you later. Hamster, thank you for joining us in chat. Everybody in chat, thank you for joining us. We'll see you all later. Thank you.